Well, hey everybody, I'm Eddie Provident. This is DK Pittsburgh Sports. You're watching Steelers Today. With me as always is Dale Lolley. No, I'm not Dale Lolley, and I'm here to help you because you're terrible at this. This show is brought to you by BetQL, the only app that you're gonna need to get a jump on your sports book and get the advantage that you want for your betting. But what is going on right now? They scan over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you a best bet advantage over all of your bets for all major sports. Hey, and you know what else it does? It covers everything. Baseball, football, hockey, every single sport, every single bet that you can think of. You don't need your phone for this one. Their algorithms look at everything, historical data, weather, matchups, performance, anything that you can think of, their algorithms cover it. Go to try.betql.co/DKPS to get started now. Or if you just download the BetQL app, you make your life easier. Use the discount code DKPS at checkout. Right now, if you use DKPS at checkout, you get 25% off any subscription. And if you use the BetMGM offer, you get $200 towards any wager, whether it wins or loses. BetQL's algorithm went 13-2 on 5-star bets in week 1 of the NFL season between Thursday and Sunday. So make sure that you take advantage of BetQL now. All the information is in the description below. Check out the link try.betql.co/DKPS.
See, life isn't so bad.
Sky's blue, it's not falling.
Look at that. Look at what's behind us here.
Falling.
Look at this. Just gorgeous, most beautiful urban landscape on planet Earth. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Dale, the world did not end.
It did not end. The Steelers got a win, beating the Denver Broncos 27-19. Got a little dicey at the end, but they found a way to win. And, really, if you look at it, this was kind of the recipe that they had coming into this season. The offense and defense played off of each other well for the first 3 quarters of the game. They got a little nicked up toward the end there, and things got a little dicey. But, it was a good team victory. They actually ran the football.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about recipe, I really like that terminology, because if you go back to what was expected of the offense specifically, it was not just going to be, we're going to run the ball, because you don't wave a magic wand and run the ball. There's a lot of different things that have to go into it. You have to throw the ball deep. Threw the ball deep. What a concept. You have to throw the ball over the middle. Eventually got around to that. You have to block, and you have to be physical. And look at where the Steelers' runs were. Like this.
Straight ahead. Yeah, and that's the kind of runner that Najee Harris is. I mean, he's not... Yes, he can make a cut and get yardage out of nothing, but he's a power runner. He's a 6'2", 230, 240-pound running back. Let him just burrow in there and fall forward for yardage. That's what they did. Ben Roethlisberger talked about how Matt Canada had challenged the offensive line going into this week that, hey, you guys, we need to do a better job here of opening some holes up, let this kid run. They did that. It's just really... It really played off of each other well. They protected well. They ran the ball well from the get-go, and they continued. Roethlisberger also saying that a lot of those runs that they had were RPOs. Where he said, I could have thrown the football in those situations, but they made a concerted effort and a conscious effort to run the football in
including
this game.
The quarterback.
Yes,
including
everybody
the quarterback.
bought in.
And when you talk about the process of what went into this week, Ben mentioned what he mentioned to you. I was over in the next room. Najee Harris said, you're not going to believe this. Najee Harris actually sat in the offensive lineman's classroom settings because he wanted not only to be there to hear what they're hearing, but he wanted and was asked to offer his own insight. They're showing a film and he said, what do you want to do, Najee? Instead of just prescribing it for him, let the players. What ends up happening, Dale, look, it's a young team. It's an extraordinarily young offensive line. But they then, in a way, carve their own identity.
You're right.
Because now they went out on that field and did the job. So now they can walk into the classroom next time a little bit like,
hey, that worked.
Hey,
what we just did
look
worked.
at us.
Yeah, how about that?
That won't mean anything if they don't do it again next Sunday night.
Well, they play the Seattle Seahawks next week. And I know everybody's talking about the quarterback situation with the Seahawks, and rightfully so. Russell Wilson not going to play. Seattle's defense Oh my God. The worst. They're on pace right now to have the worst defense in the history of the game. If the Steelers can't replicate what they did today next week, shame on them.
Yeah, I was going to say that if the Steelers perform offensively the way they did the previous 3 weeks here, then it's just going to be a.
But we've seen the steps. We've seen the steps taken.
That's the most important thing when you're talking about the offensive line and the offense, Dale. I feel like more than anything. Again, Najee did one of these, like, told you so, wagging his finger with us afterward. He was like, because I know you're all killing them. You're all killing them every week. And I'm like, I'm raising my hand. Yeah, that's me.
And rightfully so.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
But we have also seen and acknowledged that, especially in Green Bay, you saw a step. Nobody wanted to hear it. Nobody wanted to hear about it. It sounded like excuse making and whatever else here, but it was real. He had 62 yards in Green Bay, and they were like this. Yeah. They were up the middle. They were
consistent.
Authoritative running of the football, and it was a lot of 4, 5s, and 6. Although I have to share with everybody when Najee made the one juke on the outside and cut inside the thing, Dale's sitting next to me in the press box, and he goes, "Ooh, that was Lev Bell right there."
It was. I mean,
it was really good.
He was patient. He waited. He put his foot in the ground, and then he cut it up inside. It was very much reminiscent of Le'Veon Bell. Not that Najee Harris is Le'Veon Bell or even has that style, but that run in particular was very Lev Bell. Like I saw that for years out of him. It's a good sign. And I know everybody's been killing Chukwuekwutore for. He shut out Von Miller.
He did. Again. He also had 900 false starts today.
But he was playing Von Miller.
He was playing Von Miller, and that's understood. When we come back, the defense, it's a little bit of a mixed bag here. Welcome back to Steelers Today. He's Dale Lolley. I'm Dejan Kovacevic, and the Steelers beat the Denver Broncos 27-19, and they beat them pretty much on the last snap that Denver took. Actually, not pretty much. That is when they beat them.
Well, I mean, that's the way NFL games are like that. You see teams do nothing for an entire game, and then all of a sudden they go into. The Steelers have done that the last few weeks.
There'd be no use for red zone.
Right.
There'd be no red zone channel if games like this didn't happen.
I mean, if you look at it, was that game any more different than the Steelers game against the Raiders or the Steelers game against Cincinnati a couple weeks ago? The Steelers get the ball, they're down a score, they get a drive together and they fail. In that situation, Denver did the same thing. That's the way the league is set up to be, kind of. That being said, they did give up some stuff in the fourth quarter there.
Yeah, you don't want to get the top blown off. That's something that's been discussed with the Raiders game, with the Bengals game. It kind of went away with Green Bay because they really stayed way back on Aaron Rodgers, but here it was again.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Denver was going after James Pierre and going after him a lot. He did have a couple of big plays in this game. That tackle down by the goal line of Javonte Williams has saved a touchdown and saved them 4 points. Obviously, the interception there. He also almost had another interception there earlier where he batted the ball away. That if they score there, maybe they might still be playing for all we know. A mixed bag of tricks there for a young cornerback. I asked Mike Tomlin about that, and he said, "Look, that's what you're going to go through as a young cornerback. You're going to be tested. Teams are going to go after you." How do you respond to those kind of things?
And how he responded, specifically how James Pierre responded when he was asked whether or not he thought the Broncos would be coming after him at that last play, is priceless.
I knew that was coming at me. I got beat. I knew that was coming at me again.
The actual play, how did you manage to pull off that?
Do what my coach asked me to do on the phone. Just listen to my coach. That's basically what I do. Listen to my coach. Keep my eyes on my work. And that's what I did, kept my eyes on my work, and then took 2 steps at the receiver and just looked back for the ball, and I caught the pick. Out-of-body experience, but it was crazy.
And you know what, Dale? He made the play. He did what Joe Hayden and Terrell Austin recommended to him. He followed their instructions explicitly. Take 2 steps with your guy, look back for the ball. He did. 2 steps with the guy, look back for the ball. Bridgewater's pass wasn't necessarily where it needed to be. And, we don't cover the Denver Broncos, so we don't care. But you had mentioned, again, in the press box as this was happening, that maybe someone on the Denver sideline should have entertained a run at some point down there.
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers were obviously looking past the entire time on that final drive.
They get 2 yards. You're 3 yards away.
Even
man.
on second and I think it was second and goal from the 9. You had over a minute left, or right around a minute left.
There was time. They had they didn't have timeouts, but they had time.
There was time there to maybe run the football at least once. You might have caught the Steelers not napping, but looking for the pass there. They didn't do it. They kept throwing, and they didn't win.
No, they didn't. But the defense, the Steelers' defense did. And I'd like to think that before, Devin Bush went down with the injury, that you started to see some of what this defense should look like.
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of stops in this game. I know everybody's killing them. They couldn't stop the Broncos at the end. Again, that's the way the league is set up for this to happen. Nobody turned their TVs off, did they? They all kept watching because, these games go down to one score. I just think, when you look at this, Denver max protected like crazy. They weren't sending Noah Fant out all that often. A lot of times he was in there chipping on TJ Watt or doing those kind of things. That's a win for the Steelers, honestly, because if Fant's, in there blocking, he's not down the field catching passes.
Yeah, that was a big deal, especially since Tomlin talked up Fant earlier in the week and said what a weapon he is. And, I can tell you that TJ after this game had this, partially frustrated look on his face because, look, he knows they won the game, and that's a good thing. But TJ doesn't like not getting to the quarterback.
And it's not just him, but we still need to see Alex Highsmith get there. You still need to see Melvin Ingram get there. If TJ Watt's going to draw that kind of just attention on week to week, which is what is going to happen to him, the other guys have to get home. Henry Mondu had one of their sacks today.
Henry played
Mondu.
Well, though. It wasn't
Mondo's
just
a pawn in the game of life.
He's a guy.
But, man, he got there, he shot through, and good for him, he got his first career sack. They had another one erased. Isaiah Loudermilk got there. So if they're going to pay that much attention to some of these, some of the stars on this defense, those are the kind of guys that have to make plays. We saw that today, even though Loudermilk's got erased by a penalty.
And we've done offense, we've done offense, we've done defense. We haven't done special teams, and I feel obligated, Dale, to take this moment to recognize that Chris Boswell's
cash
really,
money.
I mean, this guy, I don't know that he gets sufficient love in this city. I really don't. I mean, you're now seeing the offense set up for 52-yard field goals. In other words, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When instead of trying
they
to
don't worry about
they
it.
don't worry about an extra 8-9 yards. They just say, heck, we're already in. We're inside 55 or whatever. He's just going to hit it.
Yeah, I mean, he's been just rock solid since that bad 2018 season. Good for them for sticking with him.
Yes.
You saw the Cincinnati Bengals today lose a game. They had a chance to win it in overtime from 49 yards against the Green Bay Packers, and they missed it.
Mason Crosby hit his also from 49 yards.
You think Chris Boswell misses that field goal?
No, he does not.
No, he does not.
No, he does not. Thanks for watching, everybody.